Morning, everyone. 9/11. What a day. Vedis-11. Do you remember where you guys were on 9/11? Sorry I haven't shaved yet today. Need to do that today. I'm just bumming around today. 9/11. I lost a good friend 11 years ago today. He was one of the workers that worked in the one of the Twin Towers. I don't know which one it was. He worked on the very top floor in the National Weather Service there in at the World Trade Center. His name was Bob. I'm not going to give you his last name. I don't think his wife would appreciate that, and out of the respect of his family. I knew Bob back years ago, back when I was a kid, a teenager. A friend of mine, his name was Mr. Creech. He was our mailman. And he got us started in, or got me interested actually, in CB radio. And he could talk all over. You know, he had a beam antenna and an amplifier and a sideband radio, and it was only 23 channels then. And we got acquainted, and you know, the mailman, and I went over to his house and looked at his equipment and asked him, how do I get started, you know, because this sounds like fun. Well, he first said you had to have a license, so I got me an FCC license. It was $5 for 5 years. Got a license. I can still remember the call, KGL 1003. Yeah. And bought a 23 channel Johnson Messenger radio. It was 2-type. And I bought a linear amplifier, which was a 200 watts, I believe, or 150 watts. Can't remember. I believe it was 250 though. But I started talking skip and got a hold of this guy named Bob. And he was at the World Trade Center in the National Weather Service, and we became friends. And I'd call him on the phone, and I wanted to ever go see him at his station, but never did get a chance to, so we never met face to face. But we were good friends on the radio and on the phone. And we would talk quite a bit on the phone. Well, when the planes hit, he was at work. He was on the roof when it fell to the ground. People say that 9/11 was done by the U.S. government. The only thing I can tell you is BS. Anybody with any sense that's got a half a brain realizes that when you have jet fuel is, I mean, that is some powerful stuff. It's got kerosene in it, oil in it. It's like kerosene. When that thing catches on fire, That thing burns hot. And anybody with any sense at all knows that if you have steel, how do you work steel? Well, you heat it up, you idiots. You heat it up and get it red hot, and it's workable. You can bend it to any shape, form you want. Well, that's what happened. When those planes went into the building, it's concrete floor with steel bars inside the concrete. That's rebarb, okay? That rebarb weakened. When it weakened, where it was like 10 floors up above, you know how much weight that is? That's a lot of weight, fellas. When that floor gave away, it was like a domino effect, all that weight going from inertia from one floor to the next. You figure that's 10 foot fall. Then another 10 foot, another 10 foot, and it collapsed all the way down. Yeah. There was no comparisons, you know what I mean. Al-Qaeda done it, without a doubt. Why isn't Al-Qaeda mad at the United States? It's because we screwed them. That's right, you heard me right. They were an ally of the United States. Osama bin Laden was working with the United States to stop Russia. Okay? When the United States, when Al-Qaeda defeated Russia, and as far as the entrance to Afghanistan, Iraq, all those areas, we turned our backs against Osama bin Laden, and that caused war. I'm sorry. The United States needs to keep their nose out of stuff. I could care less what the people over there do. It's none of our concern. The thing I can say is, Mr. President, get your brown nose out of their business. And let's do the business of the United States. We don't need to be the world police. Makes you stop and think, we're a dictatorship just as bad as they are. We caused all the deaths because the United States stabbed Osama bin Laden in the back. If you don't believe me, you look it up, buddies. Look it up. Almost 3,000 people died that day. Women, children, and men that had perfectly lives. Can you imagine people on that airplane? Can you imagine the knowing that you're going to go into a building? Can you imagine the terror that they had? Have your young kid on there, knowing you're going to die in a few minutes, and there's not a thing you can do about it? I'm sorry, people, for the background noise. There's some road construction. They're getting ready to, I guess, widen my street. So they're preparing it and getting it ready to widen it. 42 degrees this morning. Kind of nice. So, 9/11. Where were you that day? I know where I was. Just got to work at Radio Shack. Turned on all the televisions. Just in time to see all the chaos. My mouth dropped and hit the floor. It wasn't fun at all. Then when the second plane hit, watched it hit it. Wow. Just think, you physically witnessed all those people in that plane died instantly. You know, and of course, after 9/11, you had the Pentagon got hit. You had the people in Pennsylvania that hit the ground. People trying to rip people off. They raised gas prices to $5 a gallon just to make money off a tragedy. Wow. I remember I got a refund. I went to the gas station that I had to buy gas with. I was paying $5 a gallon. I filled my tank up. They gave me a refund. It's like $3 a gallon they give me a refund on. Guys, I'm going to cut the video off. They're getting in front of my house with this machine. Talk at you later, guys.